Good evening, folks. Kent Hovind here in the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland in lovely Lenox, Alabama. Come on down, visit. We believe the Bible is true and evolution is the dumbest and most dangerous religion in the history of the world.
Hello, Kent. Great to be here. And it's what now? Evolution is a dumb and dangerous religion. Well, that's weird because it's none of those things. I mean, the fact that you call it a religion like that's a bad thing is funny enough on its own, especially considering it reaches none of the things necessary to call it a religion. But that's mostly because it's a science and a fact about reality. And while facts can be about dangerous things, facts themselves just kinda are. And you calling anything dumb, well, irony doesn't begin to cover that one. Anyway, what idiotic topic are you covering today?
And here we are, tonight, 29th, Whack an Atheist, Sir Sic.
Oh my non-existent god, it's me! That's the dumbest subject you could have possibly covered. I mean, not only am I a big dumb, but I'm also a massive asshole. The kind who knows just as well how to take it as to dish it out. It's a bit of a clash of the titans of being dumbass fuckheads. Who will win? Who will be right? Guesses in the chat. I mean, we all know I'll be right about the science bit, but that's because I actually know anything about it whatsoever. One of the benefits of not being a creationist.
Join our 777 Club if you want to help us keep going and stay open for free. We don't charge anything.
First off, if people are funding you, then it's not really free now, is it? And second, you are about to self-promote for a million or so years, and while I normally try to respond to everything in a video up to a certain point, we will be skipping all the bullshit. Well, not all of it, otherwise we wouldn't have a video.
Whack an Atheist. Oh, I forgot to change the name. That was Alex O'Connor I did.
Wow, I am in quite the distinguished company. He's like a whole person that other people take seriously and everything. Not that you would have any concept of a single goddamn thing the man says, but still. So I do expect some real big clever man arguments to deal with today. And not you misunderstanding absolutely everything about me, my channel, and atheism in general. You know, because that's never happened before.
So a game the kids play. Whack an Atheist, they whack them all, they stick their head up and you whack it back down. See how many you can do in a minute or something like that. Children love to play it, adults love to play it. We wait for an atheist to stick his head up and say something absolutely dumb and whack him back down with real science in Christian love.
I seriously doubt you could know real science or any kind of love if it whacked you on the bonds. But then again, you would have to have a brain to interpret the sensation of being hit with anything, so...
Of course, and I enjoy doing it. So many atheists, so little time. The winner tonight is somebody named Sir Sic. Don't know who he is. He keeps a helmet on his head. Maybe he's ugly under there. I don't know.
Oh, how little you really know. I am actually handsome, famous, and good at the sex. And that's a fact backed up by me writing in this book. As you taught me, Kent, if it's written in a book, authored by a moron, it simply must be true.
Fighting silliness, stupidity, and the S-dumbs. What on earth is that?
It's you, Kent. You are one of the sdums. Because you are too silly, stupid, and sdum to figure out that that's a play on alliteration. And I love the fact that you have no interest in, trying to figure out what it means. It could be important. You don't know. And obviously you never will, because clearly learning shit is the last thing that you have any interest in.
He says at the beginning of his channel, this channel is for entertainment purposes only. Sir Sic is an idiot of the highest order and cannot be held responsible for any completely unintended learning of the things that you might do and should never, ever be used as a source for any information whatsoever because, as stated, he is dumb. At least he admits it at the beginning. I think that's great.
Oh, if only you could comprehend why bringing this up does nothing but damn your case against me. It's called self-deprecation, Kent. When you call me dumb, it kind of loses all meaning if you can't understand that. Also, wouldn't it be grand if Kent could admit his utter ignorance on so many topics? Also, if I am dumb and you are about to sound way worse than me, well, we're gonna need a new word for it. Oh, super dumb. So dumb, if you will. New Sir Sic law unlocked, baby!
If you have a problem with anything I have to say, I do, by the way, or the information I present, I do that too. I'll straighten you out, Sir Sic. Please feel free to correct my stupids. Okay, that's why we're doing this tonight. We're to help you, okay? However, if you just don't like it and can't refute it, just calling people names without a shred of argument will make it obvious that you got nothing. That's true, okay? And you guys that believe in evolution got nothing.
That's like the opposite of reality, but do go on, considering the endless data that confirms it all over the place. Anyone, and I mean anyone, who doesn't understand and accept evolution at this point is either deliberately keeping themselves ignorant of the science, or is far too stupid to understand it. And if it is neither of those, but you're spouting this kind of gibberish, then you just lie about it in order to keep people in the former categories on side for some reason. How did that get there?
Sir Sic, the scientific idiocy. He did one on me a couple months ago. It's called, well, go ahead. I want you to play a few minutes of it, Neil, and then I'm going to make a few comments about that. Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely amazing. You see that word underneath? That's a part of the title, dumbass. I know I could be fair and assume that he just didn't notice the giant fucking word, but where's the fun and accuracy in that? Yeah, it's Scientific Idiocy Crusader. It's not like a crusader from the old days, because that would make me a scientifically illiterate crusader, and that title is reserved exclusively for you, Kent.
No, okay, yeah, I did that. Right about there. Go ahead, play.
Oh, the professionalism. It brings a tear to your eyes. This is what your donors are paying top dollar for. God damn. I mean, I make terrible streams for terrible people. Monday, 9 p.m. GMT. Join in. But they look like professional productions by comparison. Thanks, mate. A bunch of freaking morons. Anyway, self-assembled by a process we don't understand, eh? What could that possibly mean? Probably that God did it, right?
Well, again, you're welcome to believe that, but that's, again, not science.
I mean, I guess it's not science per se, but I don't think anyone would claim it to be science. But it is perfectly acceptable as a thing to say within a scientific framework. In fact, the phrase "we don't know" in some respects is simply the start of science. When you don't know something, you are compelled to look into it and figure out what it is, how it works,
right,
why it do, what it do, the way it do it.
I had made a statement that atoms are assembled in such a way that they're just miraculous.
And that is wrong. The sort of thing someone might say if they know nothing about how atoms and the like come together. It's magical nonsense when we have a robust explanation for how various things in nature come together that don't actually require God did it. Hence my dismissive use of the phrase.
Like the water molecules. You got an oxygen and two hydrogens, and they're at a 105-degree angle. Not 180. You'd think hydrogens would repel each other. Nope. 105 degree.
That's a miracle to you? Wow. So basically everything is at that point, making nothing seem particularly miraculous. And this is basically the argument. Things are the way they are. Wow, must be God then. Even though if they were in a different configuration, the exact same worthless shit would still apply. It's just, put simply, the fact that things fall into order is merely like a function of the universe, how it operates regardless of there being any God or not. It's exactly what we would expect to see in a universe that has the rules that it does to work. And don't even get me started on Bible God.
That means water, when it freezes, expands 12%. Just the arrangement of a water molecule is stunning.
This is the laziest goddamn shit I ever heard, and is an example of what I consider the worst argument for God that I've ever heard. Here's a thing described relatively accurately, therefore God, with no justification as to why it needs a God to be there, other than, well, I think that's the case, so it has to be. It's trash, Kent. Be better, if only you could.
And so it looks like all the atoms are designed to work together. You know, the electron cloud and all that, SPD and all the different levels.
Well, if it looks like it, then it must be true. Because that's how fucking science works, right, Kenty boy? Because, you know, how it looked like insects just appeared on dead things. That must be how it works. And, you know, how the horizon is flat. Well, then Earth must be flat too. Can't you see how that's not a good reason to think something, Kent? What you should do is actually study it, work out how things work, not just stop at, it am look this way, therefore gob.
They're designed. If you think they happen by chance, you're insane.
I don't think it happened by chance, Ken. I didn't say that. You aren't responding to something that I said, and that's why you will always sound like a fucking moron. The things in the universe came together via processes. That is not chance. Things falling into order is not chance. That's the effects of various systems as they function within the universe. Now, you could say, well, they were done by God, and you are welcome to think that, but you don't think it because you can prove prove it, you think it because you want it to be true. And that's not exactly scientific, Kent.
All the electrons going around that little proton and nucleus in there, have they been going that speed for billions of years? Don't they get tired? Don't they ever slow down?
So an argument from incredulity, is it, Kent? Now, it does seem he's correct that protons have spin without a decay, and that's really interesting. But I think Kent is confusing spin with, like, motion. As I understand it, the spin is a fundamental property of a particle, a thing that defines the kind of particle that it is, and uses no energy to happen. And if it has a different spin, then it's effectively a different particle. Now, that might be interesting and kind of super weird, but in no way does the existence of such a state prove anything other than that's how they work. Your inability to accept without throwing the G-man on top is no one's problem but your own.
Where's this energy come from to keep them going?
They don't use energy, Ken. 5 seconds. 5 fucking seconds of research it took me to discover that. 5 seconds that you have obviously never bothered to put into it. It's amazing to me that you think you are qualified to debunk people as the real sciencer when you don't even try to figure out why things are the way they are and how they work. It's all out there waiting for you. But I think the facts are going to die of loneliness before Kent ever bothers to learn fucking any of them.
A whole lot of energy. They go around thousands of times in a millionth of a second. Where did the energy come from? Who got them started? Do you think the atoms evolved?
What? No, I don't, because evolution doesn't describe the function of fucking atoms and how they happened. Kent, I know that you've been told this before. I know that you have been told many, many, many times evolution is the process by which the variety of life formed on this planet. You think you can call evolution anything like dumb or dangerous or religion. I would be shocked if you even knew the fucking definition.
So I was talking about the idiocy of believing in evolution at these self-assembling molecules.
The idiocy of understanding and accepting the factual process that happens, and we know it happens because this other thing that isn't evolution is something that you can't be bothered to learn about and just decided means God did it. Yeah, of course. Everyone else is an idiot, Ken. Not you. You big smart. That was sarcasm, by the way, Kent. I have to mention it because you are clearly too stupid to jokes.
They just, like, carbon wants to attach to other molecules, okay? Hydrogen wants to be attached to something. Why?
See, maybe you're being metaphorical, but I just cannot be sure. It doesn't want, and when we use words like attracted, it doesn't mean atoms and molecules want to fuck each other. But yeah, they are attracted to a bunch of things because they have like 4 electrons in the shell, making them able to bond with all sorts of shit. Again, seconds to find this out. You're on the internet, Kent. I know you've heard of a search engine, and no dumbasscreationanswers.com does not count.
It's missing an electron in its orbital. Yeah, I understand that. I taught physics for years.
You taught physics for a year? I could have sworn that you have said before that you taught for something like 15.
I taught high school science for 15 years.
Anyway, so just a year. That's not exactly impressive. That's like substitute teacher shit. I take it you didn't teach any longer because you kept trying to teach them shit that wasn't true? Be my guess anyway.
Why? It has to be self-assembling. And he says, it's okay to say we don't know. I agree, Sir Sic, whoever you are, embarrassed to put your helmet off. But
I gotta ask, why are people like you so fucking obsessed with knowing who a person who values their anonymity is? How does it actually benefit you? What does it change about their arguments? There's only one reason that I can think that you would so desperately want to know, and it's so that you can fuck with them, to threaten them, or attempt to damage their personal or professional life in some fashion. Whenever someone gets this kind of weird about the fact that I'm a cartoon knight, it's not a real helmet, Ken, just so you know. That's the first thing that comes to mind. And if it's not that, do let me know. And if you come back with, well, you're not standing by your arguments, are you? Of course not. Standing is hard. I prefer to sit by my arguments.
Then don't call it science. Science is what we know. The word science means knowledge.
No, Kent, science is the pursuit of knowledge. Science doesn't mean we know fucking everything. If you've taught minute 1 of any kind of science class, you should fucking know that, you dipshit. It's astonishing to me that you claim to have taught anything about anything, and yet you know nothing about the actual concept of science. It's almost like you're kind of full of shit.
So if you don't know, don't include something stupid like that in a science book and claim it's part of science, because it isn't yet.
Do you think I write the science books? Because I don't, and neither do you, thank fuck. And okay, what textbooks? I mean, what is the claim exactly? And frankly, I'm not sure what I'm responding to in that clip. Funny that you wouldn't leave it in its larger context, but there's plenty of info as to how and why atoms self-assemble. And I did check. I'm responding to you quoting someone. Ironically, that's not fucking science. And I was more than likely pointing out that we cannot know how something works and put those words into a science textbook, and that's fine. Science is both what we know, but it's also admitting what we currently don't, so we can, do fucking science at it.
Even if it's later proven true. As of right now, it ain't science.
Actually, Ken, plenty of things that we aren't completely sure about are science and in science textbooks, and that is 100% fine. They are called predictions, and they are an incredibly important part of science. Again, it is so weird that you don't seem to know that. And do you ever wonder why nothing, and I mean nothing, of the creationist substantive claims are in science textbooks? Do you think it might be because that shit ain't true? No, of course not. It's not in science textbooks because they're trying to stop people from knowing the truth. Because, it's a fucking conspiracy theory, masquerading as a religion, masquerading as a science. That's a lot of masks. Careful it doesn't slip, Kent.
Get it out of the book. Evolution is not science. It's a religion you believe in. You can believe it very strongly. Congratulations.
I don't believe in it at all. There are no tenets. There are no holy texts. There are no rewards or punishments for doing it correctly. There is nothing about it that makes it a faith proposition. It's a science, and it's one that I understand for the most part and accept. And then I'm done. And it works. It does things like those predictions I was talking about. And the thing is, they are regularly shown to be correct. Tell me again the predictions that creationism makes that are correct. Is it none of them?
But don't call it science. These charts that they make, I got one here someplace. Here we go. Oh, I got too many things over here, brother. No, not that one.
What is this shit? I thought you were going to teach me some science, but so far all you've taught me is that you don't know how to make videos, and that your understanding of science is worse than mine. And as you so helpfully pointed out earlier, I'm a big stupid dumbass, making you the biggest, stupidest dumbass of them all. Congratulations! I'm kinda jealous, and I'm done. Perhaps if this shit show gets like 10k likes, I'll make a sequel. But until then, Kent, enjoy your victory of being the biggest goddamn idiot I ever did see. You earned it.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Sic's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the